So we're here to talk about an album that, first of all, we should talk about what you're doing. He just opened this with his teeth.
I've managed to chip my tooth at some point on a microphone, and I'm forever cursed with being able to open CDs very quickly.
Very quickly.
You should.
Very
I wish we had this on video. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So we're here. It is, as we record this, it is the 7th of October. We're talking about an album that will not be out until February.
Yep.
So let's. How does one do this?
Well.
Well, we do have a 2-track EP. We
do.
might as well talk about that. Rocks pretty hard.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Great production on this. And,
Oh,
I'm, as a guy who plays drums, love the sound of the drums.
Drummer.
That's
awesome.
Oh man.
Love the sound of the drums on this.
Thanks a lot.
I've just lost this battle.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's what I get for being the bass player.
I'm happy with the drums on this record.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, okay. What's the record going to be called when it finally does come out?
You know what? It's still in the
It's still
process.
up in the air.
We still haven't. We're thinking about maybe self-titling it. Thinking about there are a few names out there, but we haven't come to the conclusion yet. So.
Well, this will be a good 3 years since the last record, I guess.
Yeah.
But you guys have been. It's not like you guys have been. Well, you've been touring the first record really, really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, there was Warped Tour. What else did you do?
We started out with Ozfest.
Ozfest, yeah.
And then we did an Avenged Sevenfold tour for 9 weeks.
Yeah.
And
then we're out with All That Remains and Chimera.
Then Mayhem.
Oh, we did a small headline. We did 2 small headlining runs too.
Yeah, we've been all over the place for the past 3 years. Yeah.
Including in a lot of video games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And okay, let's talk.
Fortunately, that's awesome.
It is awesome
Yeah.
because it actually, people are discovering music through video games these days.
They really are.
So, okay, what has there been? There was NHL 09 you were in, I remember
Yeah.
that.
There was Skate 2.
Skate 2, Rock Band.
Right.
That helped us out a lot.
That's
which is pretty
always
cool.
the big one.
Yeah.
What song did you have in Rock Band?
We had a few. We had like
we had a
3.
couple that you could download. You could download Shockwave and Show Me the Way and Wars of Time. So
Really?
Actually, Wars of Time was named like one of the hardest songs ever in rock band history.
Really?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware
I
of that.
saw that on the website. I thought that was kind of cool.
See, I can't get past Louie Louie, on Rock Band. I'm a drummer.
Nice.
What do you want?
Nice.
Wow, but how does that translate into the real world? I mean, you get a fee.
I mean, it's awesome because we just yesterday at our show in Montreal, I had a couple kids come up to me and say, "Oh, that's awesome! I learned about your band from the Rock Band."
Had never heard of you guys before.
I haven't
Rock
heard
Band.
of us before that, so it's
I mean,
really good.
it's really cool. Like video games have always kind of done that. Even like with the first Tony Hawk stuff.
Oh, yeah,
Like
for
you know,
sure.
you were learning about like Goldfinger and
Right.
like AFI and those bands, and I mean now you still see it today. Like people are learning about. I mean, everybody's in Rock Band now.
Definitely.
And especially with the downloadable tracks, you can get bands that you never thought you'd find on there. Like,
I remember when we were recording our first record, we were addicted
Yeah.
to rock, or it was Guitar Hero.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like one of our huge goals, just to be in that game. And it's
playing
cool
like
to see
Lamb
something
of
like that
God
happen.
tracks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing about regular video games is you play the game through to the whatever level and you're done.
Right.
You've beaten Halo. You've beaten anything.
Right.
But with Guitar Hero and Rock Band, I mean, there's a never-ending supply of
Yeah,
music.
It's just, and it's fun. It's like you never finish karaoke. You go out there and have fun to do it. You can just do it whenever, even if you're playing the same song.
Right.
It's just fun.
And even if you get to that point where you think you haven't done it all, you can go to God mode, where you don't have the screen, you just memorize everything.
it always gets harder.
So, are you any good at Rock Band?
Oh, I'm terrible at it.
Have you ever played your own stuff?
We have.
Me and him did it together
Yeah.
at a South by
we like
Southwest.
switch up parts too. We'll play drums or something.
And
I'll go on guitar.
We were really bad when we did it together. We didn't even finish our
I think
own
we
song.
failed our own song.
Tell you a secret is that we had, I think it was Guitar Hero in the studio one day, and Dave Grohl was in.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
You want to try it? And he goes, "No, I'm not going to embarrass myself." You get it wrong.
Nice.
So, all right. So we've touched on the new record, which I mean, okay, 3 years between albums. What's happened with the band in those 3 years?
I feel like we've definitely matured, and our sound has evolved in a good way.
Yeah, we're also, we're better musicians
Yeah.
now.
Well, you can't play that many gigs and not get better.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I mean, when you're playing almost every day for 3 years or
3
so,
years.
you're bound to get tighter and just be able to predict everybody's next move.
Exactly. I feel like we've grown as a band as well, just on stage, just being together for so long, living together,
Yeah.
on the road. We just know so much more about each other, and that translates.
We've grown as writers and as people, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's interesting that you guys are you still based in Miami?
Yeah.
you don't get a lot of rock bands, especially bands as heavy as you,
Right.
coming
Yeah,
out of
no.
Miami. I mean, I guess the death stuff is
Right, the Tampa Bay
That's
death
Tampa.
metal
It's
scene, all that.
North
Yeah.
Florida.
there's not. I mean, you got a bunch of Cubans there. I mean,
Yeah.
How did you guys even begin to come together? You just found yourself in a sea of.
I mean, it was kind of one of those things, like there's nothing, like when it was first starting out, like, 6, 7 years ago, there was nothing to do. You could either sit around your house, play guitar, or go out skating or something, and, just getting together in a room, playing together was more fun, and kind of just evolved from there. I mean, there weren't a lot of clubs there. There was
well,
like
I was going to
3
ask, where did you
clubs.
play?
There's like this one little shithole place. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Can I use that?
It's all right.
All right. Called Cafe Cristal that we played at every Sunday. And, we were sitting there putting flyers up at our school, getting all the kids out. And it was just something to do on the weekends.
Well, how do you break out of a city that's not known for rock?
We went up to Orlando for the Florida Music Festival, which is like a mini South by Southwest kind of thing. It's, bands showcasing the labels and booking agents and managers. And that kind of springboarded everything that we did. Like, we were there and we started talking to, reps from this label and that label and that label. And they were like, hey, come to New York and, fly us up to New York, go meet with them. And it's just, just snowballed from there.
Huh. So you got to be you got lucky with a good festival.
Oh, yeah. We got, we
Say the least.
Right. We also did a lot of things there that weren't part of the festival rules, but there's enough that helped. Like, we were going to other clubs, like, hey, let us play here even though you're not part of the festival, just so we can get people in. And, I guess our efforts worked.
What kind of online presence do you guys have? What are you doing for the new media kids?
I'm trying to stay up to date with our Twitter. It's just my phone is just acting up and it gets annoying sometimes. So I'm just like, I want to tell them where I'm at, but I just can't.
Yeah, that on like Facebook and stuff.
Yeah, we've got our Facebook active and our MySpace that we run, and our Twitter. Just trying to contact our fans as much as possible. These days, it's really important, because everything's so digital.
Yeah.
So it's a great way of marketing ourselves and getting it out to our fans.
Sure, it's a series of one-to-one conversations.
Yeah, even with like YouTube and stuff, like, right now I could go film a quick thing like, hey guys, we're in Canada today, we're gonna go grab food, and it'll be up on the internet in an hour. And every kid can be like, oh, cool, they care.
That's where they are.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, that's what they're doing today.
Exactly.
Things have changed so much. It's you guys are part of the generation that are using these new tools, but the guys that came just even a few years before you haven't got a clue, or they're struggling with it. They don't understand. It's not so much they understand; you feel it.
Right.
You feel what's happening with the internet, the tools that are available, and the connections between you and the fans, and the music and the fans.
Yeah. Well, it's also so important nowadays to just be that in touch with your fan base, because there was that time where if you were looking up to somebody in a band, you weren't going to meet them. Like
Never.
you weren't going to be hanging out with Tommy Lee after the show. He's off strip clubs in his limo.
Hey, it was a big deal just to see these bands on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And nowadays, everybody's accessible. I mean, you can go on our personal Facebooks and MySpace and talk to us. Like, it's just a completely different world than it was. Like the whole rockstar image thing, I guess, isn't really there.
It's broken down.
Yeah, it is.
But it's still kind of cool because you guys are still the ones with the guitars on stage.
Yeah.
And that's a place where the fans want to be. So you've just made it a little bit more real to them because they can actually talk to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, let's. Is this out commercially coming out?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
So,
on.
yeah.
Okay, so it's
iTunes.
Bury Me in Honest Eyes. And the album, whatever it's going to be called, will be out sometime in February.
Yes.
Correct.
And you're road testing stuff, obviously, on
Yeah.
the way to that. Is the album done?
For the most
part, yeah.
it is. I think it's like 95% done.
Exactly, yeah. We're working on some other things, but it's just such a long process, over a year in the making.
Yeah.
So, but it's going to be worth it.
All right.
when it's
First
out.
of all, dude, Black Tie sucks ass.
Oh, look at this guy.
Yeah.
right here.
Rules, dude. I love Black Tie fucking sucks. He's the worst
Good gentleman.
drummer. He's the worst bassist.
But-
Just want you guys to know that.
Thank you. Thank
What's
you for
that?
that.
When you put them together, they're
Yeah,
amazing.
smoothie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Well, I think the next interview is here.
I think so too.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Really appreciate it, and
Pleasure,
hope
man.
that you do well with the album. Can't wait for it. I mean, again, like the sound of this.
Thanks so much.
That's it's big, fat, and really heavy, and
the
scared that.
the whole album is gonna be like, that's what's awesome about it personally, and that's why I love it. It's so everywhere. It's very
Yeah.
diverse. You know, every song it's different. There's not the same song on the album twice. So.
Scared the crap out of my dog this
Oh,
morning.
really?
Oh yeah, she was just like, "What the hell is this?"
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Which is a good way of actually testing stuff.
All right, cool.
That
Very
works.
cool.
All right, thanks, guys.
What
Thank
kind
you,
of
man.
dog?
English Bull Terrier, just like all the her dad is the father of all the dads and all the her dad is the father of all the dogs in the Target commercials.
Oh, no way.
So that's all her half brothers and sisters. There's 6
That's
of them.
kind of cool.
That's cool to know.
Yeah.
That's like having a famous cousin.
It is kind of like, well, yeah, all her half brothers and sisters
Yeah.
are famous dogs.
That's awesome. Sick.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Explore Music wears English Laundry apparel.